The United States quarter dollar of 1966 is a fascinating piece of American coinage history. It was issued during a transitional era when the U.S. Mint had recently shifted away from using silver in quarters due to the rising cost of silver bullion. From 1932 until 1964, quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. However, in 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the quarter to a copper-nickel-clad coin, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The 1966 quarter was only the second full year of this new clad coinage. Collectors and numismatists consider this period significant because it marked the end of traditional silver coins in circulation and the beginning of the modern base metal coinage that is still in use today. Because of this, many people hold on to 1965 and 1966 quarters as a reminder of that transitional period, even though they are not made of silver. When we look closely at the 1966 quarter, we find that it does not carry a mint mark. During the years 1965, 1966, and 1967, the U.S. Mint deliberately omitted mint marks from all coins. The reason behind this decision was to discourage coin hoarding. At the time, people were pulling coins out of circulation, especially those with mint marks or silver content, which created coin shortages across the nation. By removing mint marks, the mint made it impossible for collectors to target coins from specific mints. As a result, all 1966 quarters, whether they were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, simply appear without a mint mark. This makes the 1966 quarter somewhat unique compared to most other years of U.S. coinage history. In terms of design, the obverse of the 1966 quarter features a familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. This portrait has remained on the quarter for decades, although it has undergone some modifications in later years. The word liberty appears above Washington's head, and the motto, "In God We Trust," is displayed to the left. The date 1966 is prominently positioned below the portrait. On the reverse side, we see a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and defense, while two olive branches curve beneath the eagle, symbolizing peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and below it, quarter dollar. This design remained standard on quarters from 1932 through 1998, before the 50-state quarters program began. When it comes to value, the 1966 quarter is not particularly rare in circulated condition because hundreds of millions were produced. The total mintage was around 821 million pieces, which means they are still quite common in circulation even today. In heavily worn condition, most 1966 quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, in the coin collecting market, condition matters a lot. If a 1966 quarter is in better condition, say in fine or very fine grade, it might bring a small premium, usually around 30 cents to $1. In uncirculated condition, the value can be higher. A mint state coin with strong luster and no significant marks might sell in the range of $2 to $10 depending on the grade. Exceptional specimens, such as coins graded MS 65 or MS 66 by professional grading services, can sometimes fetch higher amounts, usually between $20 and $40. It is important to note that the real excitement with 1966 quarters often comes from special varieties and errors. For example, some 1966 quarters were struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, which makes them extremely rare and valuable. These error coins can sell for thousands of dollars if authenticated. Other striking errors, such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, or coins with clipped planchets, also increase the value significantly. Because of this, collectors carefully examine 1,966 quarters in hopes of finding a valuable error. For most regular circulated coins, though, the market value remains close to face value. The 1966 quarter is also an interesting subject in coin grading discussions. Grading is the process of evaluating a coin's condition, which directly affects its value. For circulated coins, grades range from good to extremely fine, while uncirculated coins are graded on the mint state scale from MS 60 to MS 70. A 1966 quarter in good condition will show heavy wear, with Washington's hair details mostly flat and the eagle's feathers worn smooth. A coin in extremely fine condition will still show sharp hair strands on Washington and good detail on the eagle's feathers. Mint state examples will display full luster, with no wear at all, only minor handling marks. Collectors who specialize in clad coinage seek out the highest grade examples they can find, because common date coins like the 1966 quarter only stand out when they are in pristine condition. Today's coin market has also been influenced by third-party grading services, such as PGS and NGC, which authenticate and grade coins on a strict scale. A 1966 quarter certified as MS 67 can sell for hundreds of dollars because such high-grade survivors are scarce despite the large original mintage. In fact, price guides list some of the top population coins in the thousands of dollars, but these are rare exceptions. The majority of 1966 quarters will remain common and affordable to beginning collectors. From a historical perspective, the 1966 quarter also symbolizes the broader economic trends of its time. The removal of silver from U.S. coins was directly tied to the rising cost of silver in the 1960s. As silver prices approached and exceeded the face value of coins, people began melting down dimes, quarters, and half dollars for their bullion content. The government had to act quickly to preserve the nation's coin supply. Thus, the Coinage Act of 1965 authorized a switch to copper-nickel-clad coinage. The 1966 quarter is part of this first wave of modern coins, representing a shift in American monetary policy that still continues today. In the modern collector's market, 1966 quarters often appeal to people who enjoy building year sets of U.S. coins, clad coin collections, or era coin collections. While not a silver coin, it still carries nostalgic value for those who grew up in the 1960s. Many older Americans remember the coin shortage crisis, the disappearance of silver coins, and the unusual lack of mint marks. These memories make the 1966 quarter historically meaningful, even if its financial value is modest. If we focus on the dollar value today, in most cases, a circulated 1966 quarter without mint mark will be worth around 25 cents to $1. In higher uncirculated grades, the value rises modestly into the range of a few dollars. Exceptional graded coins or rare errors, however, can command prices in the hundreds or even thousands. For an average collector or someone finding a 1966 quarter in pocket change, its value lies more in its history and symbolism than in its market price.